The views and opinions expressed on this program are not necessarily those of this station, JVC Broadcasting Management, or its sponsors.
Welcome to the Senior Show, where we're two wild and aging guys, but one of them happens to be missing. So this is Neil Himmelstein, Tim Kennedy. He must be waylaid in traffic, but I'm sure he'll be by later today. And we're here with a special guest, Katherine Serrano. Katherine, tell us a little bit about yourself.
I am actually a New York and New Jersey licensed architect, and I am the founder of Rooted Architecture Studio. We're a bilingual architecture firm based out of Greenville, New York. And we work through Long Island, New York City, Westchester, and Northern New Jersey.
That's awesome. Awesome. But you're not just an architectural firm. You do some really unique stuff. So why don't you say a little bit about what you do and what makes you different than the everyday architect?
So I have a deep love for nature, hence the Rooted name, but also neuroscience. So the way I approach architecture is through the health and wellness lens, understanding that we spend 90% of our time indoors, and our spaces really affect us subconsciously and consciously, and whether that's the materials we're surrounding ourselves by, or how the spaces are shaped, or how connected we are with nature, even on the inside. So we take that approach of bringing in natural elements, healthier materials, and creating flows of spaces that actually help people not have stress and not get overstimulated. And we do that through doing homes. We work with healthcare and wellness providers, as well as nonprofits and other commercial and entrepreneurs.
That's awesome. That's awesome. And Tim Kennedy, it's just arrived.
I'm a wild and aging guy, Neil. This traffic's killing me.
I hear you. Well, traffic will do that. I just was introduced to Katherine, who's a health and wellness architectural firm.
Yes.
Which is interesting. I find, for seniors, a lot of people don't realize that you have to really be focused on the next few years. I remember when my daughter was little, we didn't understand childproofing until we had a terror. Okay. My daughter, let's see, I hate to say it, she just had a daughter, but I had a neighbor who had chickens, right? Mm-hmm. They gave us 5 dozen organic eggs we had in the refrigerator. My daughter at 2 years old figured out a way to get into the refrigerator, take the eggs, climb up onto her changing table, and dive bomb them onto the Persian carpet.
I found all those child-proofing things were more adult-proofing.
Yes.
The kids figured them out quicker than the adults did.
So we ended up putting a gate lock on our refrigerator. We had to do that. Yeah. As well as secure other things. But when you're a senior, I know for my father, who ended up being ambulatory and needed a wheelchair ramp, but bathrooms are the biggest thing, because that's where most incidents occur. You slip, you have water, toileting, bathing. So your firm does a lot of that.
As well, yeah. So for me, health and wellness also connects to as you aging in place, and as well as making anything accessible, not just for seniors. Because at the end of the day, anything that you do for one group, it actually benefits other groups as well. Just I love using the example of in the streets when they created those ramps for people in wheelchairs, it helped mothers with strollers, it helped people with luggage. So one little ripple effect can help the masses. So in terms of people aging, I also work with seniors in accommodating, creating homes for accessibility, whether it's adding an exterior ramp into the home, making bathrooms larger in case you do need a wheelchair or a walker, but also how do we future-proof the walls to have blocking so you can add those handrails or have things that are more easily accessible.
So my advice is not just for seniors, but if you have a parent who's aging and you want to help them, sometimes you need to look into the future to be able to help them and bring in a firm like yours that would really be helpful in saying, hey, my mom's getting older, and
I'm currently working with a couple now where the husband has Parkinson's.
Right.
And they're in a house, multiple steps. I mean,
yeah.
10 steps just to get into the house, never mind the steps to the bathroom and up to the bedrooms.
Oh, boy.
And they're now selling that home, relocating into a smaller home, one-level home. But even the homes with the one level, there's still steps.
Yes.
To get in and out of the house, or maybe one step into a laundry room, or one step out to the back door. So that's a situation where you would come in and maybe reassess the house. Because, again, this house is an older house. So, the bathroom's going to be small. The doorway is going to be, a standard size. Where now when they go into that house, even though it's one level, there's still so much more they need to do for that to help her and her husband in their situation.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. And I work with Habitat for Humanity, and most of the homes we design for them, they're more on the comfortable, smaller scale, one level. And we always add a ramp up because you can't have wood touch the grade. You need to be at least a foot away. So then we have a 12-foot ramp that goes in, and everything is leveled. We don't do tile in the bathroom. Everything's the same level as the main floor, because wheelchairs, you need a 1/4 inch, or also people who, have vision or other things. Any small shift leads to tripping.
A tripping hazard.
Yeah.
Sure.
It's very interesting. So, again, we like to help people before there's an issue. And one of the things that you could do for yourself or your parents and for other people, or if you're considering moving, is consult your firm, bring you in, and say, hey, because you can see the future, because you, just like I do when in planning, I can see what can happen because I've already have worked with so many people.
Well, through our life experiences and our professional experiences,
and
we've seen this a number of times.
Right.
Yeah.
So it's like I tell people, I can see the future because I witnessed the past. And, as seniors, we've witnessed a lot, going through our lives. So, I know kids don't want to listen to us all the time, but we know what could happen. Yeah. Listen, I know the market's going to go down. I know it's going to go up. That's what it does. It goes up and it goes down. But for those of you that think it's only going to go up, one day you're going to wake up and go, why did I do this?
My wife, Katherine, I don't know if you know it or not, but my wife is a personal injury attorney, and she walks down the street, and she's like a walking commercial. Trip hazard, trip hazard, trip hazard, trip. Everything she sees driving in the car, she sees the accidents before they happen down the street, because all the videos and all the things they've gone through with the different cases that she's been in. Yeah.
But wouldn't it be great to move into a house that's already has that vision and says, I know, or have an existing house and say, hey, can you guys come in and assess this and make it better? You also said something to me before we started talking about the materials and the type of materials you use. Talk a little bit more about that. Yeah,
so I think most people have learned of VOC painting, you want low or 0 because it excretes bad fumes, and we don't want to breathe that in. Or at least that was a big thing in the past couple decades. That's one thing. So paint, things like that. If you use acrylic paint, it still retains things. If you use a lime paint, it breathes. It absorbs the moisture, it excretes the moisture, it works with your space as the summer.
I know years ago, well, FHA now, right, has a big issue.
A lime paint?
Lime, yeah.
Is that
limestone.
Color?
No, limestone, made out of limestone, so it's made out of natural materials.
They have paint like that?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know.
When we do FHA loans, FHA appraisals, they're big sticklers on older homes with lead paint.
Oh.
And young children in those homes, right?
Did not know they had lime.
Yeah. Well, with lead paint, it's this duality. Yes, if you don't take care of it and it's chipping, that's horrible. Yeah. But at the end of the day, if you correctly use lead paint or any paint with some form of metal, it actually stops. I think I'm probably going to say this correct. The EMF, microwaves or wavelengths, our Wi-Fi, 5 gig. It actually stops that.
Okay. Cool.
Yeah.
Interesting. Well, listen, we are ready for break. We are two
wild and aging guys.
And Katherine, how do people get a hold of you?
They can reach out to my office at 516-253-5311 or find us on our website, rootedarchitecturestudio.com. And we do a lot of educational content on Instagram. So you can do rooted_architecture for that.
Excellent. Tim.
And I am Tim Kennedy, your certified reverse mortgage professional, and you can reach me at 516-729-6040, or you can reach me at timtalksreverse.com.
And I'm Neil Himmelstein, host of the Main Street Code for Financial Success and owner of Main Street Planning Group. Best way to reach me is 631-647-4694, and we'll be right back. Back to the Senior Show with two wild and aging guys. I'm your host, Neil Himmelstein, with co-host Tim Kennedy, and we have our special guest today, Katherine. And I know, Tim, you had some questions for Katherine regarding...
So Katherine Serrano from Rooted Architectural Studio. And Katherine, where's your office located?
We're located in Greenville, New York.
Greenville, New York. Wow, okay, that's a hike.
Yeah, a little bit, but I do work throughout Long Island, the city, and sometimes Jersey,
Okay.
so I'm okay.
So on the previous episode, we were talking about paint and different types of paint, and I remember you and I had a conversation a while back because we have this den in my house, and it's 6 hi-hats, and the hi-hats drive my mother-in-law crazy, like, and the glare and the TV, and so we're always fighting over these hi-hats. And I remember I had a conversation with you, like, how can I make this better?
Yeah. So hi-hats, it's such a modern thing to use in most homes, or like easier. It's more like, it's not architectural. If you're just doing a quick standard home, everyone's like, let's do hi-hats. There are buffers. There's that you can redirect the light to a certain angle or side, or a diffuser. So that's something I mentioned back then, that there is something you can just add to them. Or another element to that is actually supplementing those hi-hats by having a more, like a singular central light with a different switch, where it can be a different temperature, where you are watching TV and you want something more moody, not as dark. You can.
Well, the problem is we're watching TV and we turn out the hi-hats, and then everybody falls asleep. So that's a problem.
Yeah.
So we want to be able to keep the lights on and watch TV, so we stay awake.
Yeah, I would put at that end, I would do more of perimeter lighting. So it has that, you would still want cooler light to stay awake, like white light, and then have it more diffuse on the sides of the wall, so it's not on top
of
but
us.
still there.
Right.
Yeah, but it's something that you brought up like that, you want to stay awake. So white light is, midday sun. So then our bodies just produces it doesn't produce melatonin. We're like awake. That's why what they say, after a certain time of the day, you want to have like blue screen, like layers to your glasses, or you want to use red light at night. So your body produces the melatonin and you start actually going to bed.
I know the biggest mistake we make, right? We watch TV and stare at our phones, and then we turn everything off and immediately jump into bed, and we can't figure out why we can't fall asleep.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, that happens to me.
Yeah.
Everybody.
So, Katherine, you do both residential and commercial, correct?
Yes.
Yeah. So this show is geared more towards, obviously it's the senior show with two wild and aging guys, and we are geared more towards the residential type. But I guess maybe on a commercial level or a bigger scale, working with estate nursing homes or assisted living, you do any work like that?
I have not done a full assisted living kind of larger facility, but I have done smaller scale spaces that are geared towards seniors, or it's a lot more related to accessibility. And most people think accessibility, and I did mention ramps and this for people in wheelchairs, but accessibility also means, impaired eyesight, mobility. What can you hold? It's like residential or like even some commercials, you just have those round knobs.
Right.
You want to use levers. That's an easy hardware fix. If you can't afford something fancy, go to Home Depot, buy a cool little like brassy looking one, and it would just elevate the space but also be usable. So I've done things like that. We're advising in renovating spaces, and I've done medical facilities. So we have to think about who's coming there. So we have to look at like geriatric seating, layout, equipment, and also like sizes of like the spaces of how things flow. And actually, one thing, I took a neuroscience and architecture class earlier this year, and something that I learned and I've been trying to really implement is that as we age, symmetry actually deters the way we process things, especially with the way we walk through a space. Symmetrical spaces, as you get older, makes it harder for us to understand where we're going. So actually creating asymmetry and clear wayfinding just makes life easier.
Wow.
Right.
Yeah.
I thought it was me.
It's not you, it's the space.
Well, I guess right, like less clutter.
Less
like
clutter.
A clearer path to the kitchen, to the bathroom,
Yeah,
to the
yeah.
laundry room, out the back door, the front door. Just that type of scenarios.
Yeah, scenarios like that. And then also, like, I like separating public and private spaces, even in homes. Like, there's sometimes you get those homes that you enter your bedroom or the guest bedroom right out of the living room, and then it gets super noisy. It's like, how do we take something, create a little hallway where it separates those private rooms to the public?
Right.
Yeah.
So we renovated my home in about 2004, 2005, and we had every room hardwired for computers and internet. Right? Like we were thinking, well, wow, how cool are we? Right?
Yeah.
And we finished the renovation, and all the wireless stuff came out. Yeah.
Yeah.
But the reason I'm saying that is because we had a desk in the mudroom, we had a desk in the kitchen, because the kids were young. We figured they're going to be doing homework, right? And then we had desks in each of the bedrooms.
Yeah.
Right? A year or two later, they were all in the den with their computers and their phones on the wire. Now we got these desks all over the house. We don't have to do with them, and the reason I'm saying that is because as we walk in the door, we're tripping over shoes, we're tripping over pocketbooks, we're tripping over bags, because we have this other furniture in the rooms.
Yeah. It's sometimes you have to. Like Neil was saying, you have to. I think ahead and like future-proof things.
Right. Sure.
Like for clients, I do ask, like, is this your 5 to 10 year home or is this your forever home? What's the end goal? Because that also assesses like how much you're going to invest in it, how much you're going to modify.
Well, as a reverse mortgage specialist as well, I ask that same question, right? Because that's a big decision.
It is.
Are you going to stay in this home? Are you going to age in place?
Yeah.
How are you going to finance that? And what do you want to do to stay here?
Yeah.
And or are you going to sell and relocate? And then what are you going to look for?
Yeah, it's true. Because if you're aging in place or this is your forever home, we want to definitely have the primary suite on the first floor. We want to maybe not fully proof it so it's fully accessible, but have enough elements where you can easily do that now if you're going to do an addition or renovation rather than just have all the bedrooms upstairs. Or if you have the money, add an elevator shaft now and then the elevator later, or if you have the money for that too, add the elevator in.
I got to tell you, they pop those things in like it's nothing.
Yeah.
Have you seen those, Neil? These elevators in these houses now?
I've been looking at them for myself because I need access to my attic, and I said, why don't I just put an elevator in?
I mean, if you have a wall and a closet on the, they just convert a closet into an elevator.
That's crazy.
Yeah, I think the residential elevators are small enough where you can fit a wheelchair and maybe one person next to it. That's all you need.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah. I was in a house in Gilgo Beach, and they had the elevator going from the first floor up to the second floor.
Yeah.
And, man, it was awesome.
Yeah, it's really nice. If you want to do it to your attic, that's technically a third floor.
Right.
And then you have to trigger sprinkler heads.
Trigger what?
Sprinkler heads in the house.
Why? Oh, for...
Yeah, because your attic's going to be a finished space because you're going to have an elevator or at least part of that space. So, or at least the elevator shaft will need a sprinkler head.
How hard is it to do?
The sprinkler system?
To put in the whole...
Elevator?
Yeah.
It's finding literally a vertical section
So
that
if
you
I
can...
had what would it cost to put in an elevator?
Prices keep changing because of all the money. But probably with design, permits, and everything, you're probably looking, depending on the type of project, you're probably looking at like $50,000, $75,000 on a smaller scale. If you want like a more spacious one, or depending how much structure we need to modify in the home, you might go into the six figures.
Wow.
Yeah.
It's a lot.
Yeah.
That was more expensive than I thought it was.
That's moving on up.
Yeah.
They're moving up. I think everything's because of the electrical load, and
it's more complicated, obviously.
It's more
than-
complicated, yeah.
But when I saw this elevator in Gilgo Beach, and I know friends of mine out in Mount Sinai in the Hamlet, they've had the elevator in there for years, and but it looks pretty simple, But everything's more complicated than you think it is.
You know what you don't see in houses anymore? Dumb waiters.
I know. Yeah,
You know,
that's
my
true.
aunt and uncle had a dumb waiter. He was pretty stupid. They had a restaurant too, but
Neil, what about clickers? Does anybody have? How many clickers do you have in your house?
We're
Neil?
going to have a whole show about clickers. I'm telling you, we were going to talk about clickers today.
Yeah. Also, I know dumb waiters in some homes were converted to laundry chutes.
Yeah.
Right.
But now everyone wants their washer dryer on the second floor.
Interesting.
Yeah.
See how things change?
Yeah. We had our washer and dryer in the basement. Now we moved it up to the main floor.
That's great. Yeah. And things change.
Yeah. Things change.
That's why we have this show, right?
That's why we're here, the senior show, and we are two wild and aging guys.
And we're running out of time, as a matter of fact. And
yes, we are.
Katherine, you've been fantastic. And once again, tell us how they can get a hold of you and look to modify their home or build a new home. And
if they
how do they reach you?
They can go to our website, rootedarchitecturestudio.com, call us at 516-253-5311, or if you're on socials, Instagram is rooted_architecture.
Excellent. Tim.
And I am Tim Kennedy, your certified reverse mortgage professional. You can reach me at 516-729-6040, or you can reach me at timtalksreverse.com.
And I'm Neil Himmelstein, and I'm just happy to be here. Give me a call, 631-647-4694. Have a great week, everybody. Thank you.
The views and opinions expressed on this program are not necessarily those of this station, JVC Broadcasting Management, or its sponsors.